Hello from the eve of a big trip that I've been planning for over a year and a half. I am very excited to be one of the teacher leaders on an international tour for 1 week to 2 different cities in Germany. I have never traveled internationally with my students, so this will be a new thing for me. Honestly, I don't know what I'm getting myself into, but I think it's going to be a once-in-a-lifetime experience for all of us. So my contribution on the trip is this travel journal. I have put together a number of kits for students to bring with them, and I will go through exactly the materials that I put in each kit. I also created some sort of sample pages to show students and have been working on trying out some different techniques and figuring out what is approachable for students, because not every single one of the students on this trip is an art student. Some of them I've had art classes with, but some of them may have not taken an art class since middle school. So they all are juniors and seniors on this trip. So the ages are 16 to 18 years old, which is kind of nice. A lot of them have been planning and saving up for this trip and are really invested in the experience. So I think we will have a really wonderful group. So I am gonna lead you guys through how I set this up. And the cool thing is, next time I speak with you, I will be in Germany, and I will be able to share with you all the techniques that we're using, how students are using their journal, what the difference between what I planned and anticipated to how it actually went. So that's going to be really fun to share with you. In preparation for all the museums we're visiting, I did a bit of background research into the different museums and just created some of these kind of cheat sheets, as well as one about art journaling. So I'm going to go in and explain these and my thinking behind it, as well as this museum scavenger hunt. I have been doing tons of preparation, and I'm so excited to leave tomorrow. Next time I speak with you, I will be in Germany, and I'm so excited to take you along on this journey and to share the process of creating travel journals. I want to take you through how I set up these travel journal kits. This bag, this zip case, is from Blick Art Materials. I did not purchase these for the trip. This was something that already was in my classroom from the previous teacher, and so I just repurposed them. There was a ton of them, maybe 40 bags. So it was easy to find the ones that were the least amount beat up. And then I wrote the kid's name out on a label and covered it with packing tape. I just covered it for privacy to share this with you. But yeah, I've made sure that everybody's was labeled. That way I know everybody gets a kit. And some students picked it up prior to the trip, and some students asked that I take it to the airport because they were afraid of forgetting it. Everybody got this Winsor and Newton Cotman pocket watercolor set. This is really lovely. It has warm and cool versions of the primary colors and some beautiful browns. And then this is a small detail brush that comes with the set. The students will take this with them. I also unwrapped all of these watercolors because of the time frame and just how little time we have. I wanted to make sure students could access their paint right away. Also, some students got a brand new set, where some got a set that was prior used in a different class, which is just fine. And so I have that ready for them, already unwrapped. The only drawback to unwrapping them is students won't know the names of the pigments, but I did save the pamphlets in case they are curious. I included a glue stick. I love Yoo-Hoo. It is really strong, it dries fast, and it is, I don't think it's quite archival. It could be. It's definitely pH balanced, pH neutral, so it won't yellow your paper. So I love Yoo-Hoo. I got the mini ones. I got some beautiful tape. This is washi tape. There's not a ton on these rolls. That was the only thing I was a little disappointed, but they came in a huge pack of several rolls, so each student will get one. I mainly use this for resist techniques that I'll share with the students because it is not that strong for holding onto the watercolor pages. The coolest thing I think I found for these is these water brushes. You can actually just put water back here and paint. The only thing weird about the ones I ordered is it is lefty tighty, righty loosey. So it is the opposite. How weird is that? It took me a moment to wrap my head around that. It's a little weird. So I'm turning left and it's tightening up. So that was the only odd thing, but they were really affordable and came in a bulk pack. So happy with these. I even have a few extra to bring on the trip if kids lose them or something like that. I also got these glue tapes in bulk. This is for when you don't have the glue stick or just for quickly gluing in receipts or lines, or some students have an aversion to the glue getting on their hands, I found, so this is a good solution for that. Also, we have a micron-ish pen. This is a pen I found online. It was a lot more affordable than the Micron, and it has a very, very small nib, which I really like. Very, very small, so I don't know if you can see that. Beautiful. So this will be great for writing and maybe making some outlines of shapes and things like that. And then finally, the most important thing, the journal. So this is a watercolor journal. It came in a pack of 2. I was pleasantly surprised by the quality of this paper. I did some watercolor painting as a test, and it was really smooth. I didn't get any pilling, and the paper could take quite a bit of water. I was really like squeezing water out from this brush, and it could take quite a bit, and it dried with a beautiful finish. So I'm happy with this. I opted for watercolor because I wanted students to be able to use wet media for their journals. And then the last thing that's in here, they also got this packet that has some of the masterworks that we'll be seeing in each of the museums. And some of the concept, like this Neue Frau, which is kind of the new woman, almost like the flapper, but in Germany. Students can kind of do a bit of a search for these pieces, and also some of the key movements in German art and some other themes that they might see. So just kind of a mini art history lesson. Obviously, there's a lot to the art history of Germany, so we're just kind of focusing on sort of the modern leading up to World War II, and then a little bit of postmodernism as well, and some folk art. And then this is their little art journal, travel journal prompts. So I do have some prompts. The main thing I told students is to use their senses, their sights, sounds, smells, textures, and to create pages based on what they're taking in from one of these senses. We are going to do some rubbings. I did bring some small crayons so they can rub textures, and just think about like the stories, things people said, words and phrases you learn, even like your playlist that you made for the trip or songs that you heard on the trip that you started to listen to. So this is kind of what's going in terms of the content, and then is sort of goofy piece. I love the scary baby. In a lot of these historical galleries, there's a lot of scary babies, so that'll be fun. And they write the title, and they snap a photo and write down notes and any interesting things they see. And this is just something, the idea is not maybe there could be a prize if they filled it all out, but it's more just to have some fun and to ask people what they found, and just to give a little bit more life to seeing so much art, which can be a bit oversaturating and overstimulating. So all the students will be getting that in addition to the materials that I showed you. But right now I've got chaos, so I'm gonna make some sense of this. I am just cutting out some images of some of the places we're going to be visiting, and some artworks I'm looking forward to seeing that are at these specific museums. Obviously, I will take pictures when I'm there, but it's kind of nice to have some items sort of already in the art journal ready to go. And so I've started creating a few spreads with the itinerary and a little bit of our journey and packing. And I did some rubbings of these coins here. These are the 50 cents in euros. And one of the museums that we're going to be visiting, we're going to see this Albrechter piece that I'm looking forward to seeing. And then this isn't very chronological, but I think I'll start chronological at this point now that I have the itinerary written out. So I modeled this for my students. That's why I had that page, those few pages created already. And I showed my students that they can print out, just some images from Google image search of places that we're going to visit. They can be historical images or current images. They could apply a filter. I did a sepia filter on that one, and just as a demo for them. So our school was really generous in giving us some time with students prior to the trip to prepare them for the trip, for logistics, but also some lessons, including this art lesson. So I was able to share with students that they may want to collect some printed images prior to the trip of places that we'll be going, and to do a bit of planning. And I think this just gets students a little more excited to make their pages because it's not a blank slate. So I did get some maps of Germany as well, and I will be sharing these with students if they would like to cut out some roads and landmarks. And so a lot of students did get their journals ahead of time and are doing this pre-planning. I also brought a variety of papers that students can grab from me, especially for doing rubbings. and things like that when we're out in the city. So this will be very exciting, and I can't wait to share with you what the students actually create, what I create. So I'll be trying to film daily and check in. So make sure you're subscribed so that you can see that next video and you can get all the updates on how this travel journal plan went.